A storm is brewing in South Africa's political heartland. President Cyril Ramaphosa, National Police Commissioner General Fannie Masemola, and Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi now stand at the center of a scandal that threatens to shake the very foundations of justice and accountability in KwaZulu-Natal. The shocking return of 121 critical criminal dockets has set off alarms across the nation, raising fears of corruption, political interference, and hidden agendas. For those unfamiliar with the saga, here's the backdrop. South Africa has long struggled with politically motivated killings, especially in KwaZulu-Natal. To address the crisis, a special political killings task team was created in 2018, led by General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. This unit quickly gained a reputation for effectiveness, investigating over 300 cases, arresting nearly 400 suspects, and securing dozens of convictions. But behind the successes lurked a storm of political resistance. At the center of the controversy lies Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, the suspended deputy commissioner accused of taking 121 key dockets away from Mkhwanazi's task team. These dockets were not minor cases. They were the heart of ongoing investigations into political murders, organized crime, and corruption. Their sudden disappearance raised immediate suspicion. Who benefited from these files being removed? And why did it take so long for them to be returned? When General Fannie Masemola decided to restore the dockets to Mkhwanazi's team, he unleashed a political earthquake. President Ramaphosa, according to multiple reports, was deeply frustrated with Masemola's decision. Some argue Ramaphosa believed the move could undermine the newly announced commission of inquiry, set to be led by retired Judge Masemola Madlenga. But critics are asking, was the president truly worried about due process, or was he afraid of what these dockets might reveal? The name of Senzo Mchunu, the suspended Minister of Public Service and Administration, now resurfaces. Mchunu has long been accused of attempting to dismantle Mkhwanazi's task team. Masemola has even suggested that Mchunu's decisions may have been influenced by individuals under investigation. If true, this could mean that political power was being used not to serve justice, but to shield allies and silence the truth. For ordinary South Africans, this story is not just about political rivalries. It's about the fight for justice in communities haunted by political killings. Families who lost loved ones are left waiting, year after year, for answers that never come. Each missing docket represents not just a file, but a life, a story of violence and grief that risks being forgotten in the shuffle of power. Did you expect such a twist, that even the files meant to bring justice could themselves become political weapons? The role of AfriForum adds another layer of complexity. This civil rights group has been accused of interfering with the task team, allegedly making demands for sensitive information without legal authority. Their defenders claim they are simply fighting for transparency, while critics argue they have overstepped, disrupting investigations and diverting focus from the core mission. The question remains, are they helping, or are they making things worse? Public figures and commentators are weighing in. JJ Tabane has suggested that Ramaphosa's creation of the commission might not be about justice at all, but rather about cornering Mkhwanazi. Independent analyst Mary de Haas has gone further, accusing Masemola of overstepping his legal authority in the handling of these dockets. These conflicting voices reflect a society torn between hope for accountability and fear of further betrayal. Meanwhile, the task team's record cannot be ignored. Since 2018, they have confronted some of the most dangerous networks in KwaZulu-Natal. Arresting 388 suspects and convicting 70 may sound like progress, but for many families, justice still feels out of reach. When 121 dockets were removed, their hope was taken too. For them, Masemola's decision to restore the files is not just administrative, it is personal. The timing of the Madlenga Commission only complicates matters further. Initially celebrated as a step toward truth, the commission's start has already been delayed due to poor planning and project failures. Critics argue that this delay gives more time for suspects to cover their tracks, intimidate witnesses, or even strike again. In a country already weary of commissions that lead nowhere, skepticism runs high. Imagine your own community losing dozens of lives to political violence. only to learn that the very files that could bring answers were locked away in someone's office. How would your community respond if this happened where you live? This saga is not only about powerful men in Pretoria. It reaches down into small towns and villages where people live in fear of political assassinations. It affects journalists who risk their lives to cover corruption. It weighs on young South Africans who are losing faith in a system that seems more loyal to politicians than to the people. The anger is real, and so is the danger. If these cases collapse because of interference, the message sent to future killers is chilling. You can get away with murder if you have the right connections. That possibility alone is enough to shake the foundations of democracy. Masemola's gamble, returning the dockets, may be seen as an act of defiance, a declaration that the fight for justice is not yet lost. But he now faces pushback from political heavyweights who fear exposure. Will he stand firm, or will pressure from the highest office force another retreat? As the public watches, the stakes grow higher. If Ramaphosa is seen as obstructing justice, his credibility could suffer irreparable harm. If Mkhwanazi is sidelined, the task team's hard-won victories could unravel. And if Sibiya escapes accountability, the cycle of corruption within SAPS will continue unchecked. This is why the people are speaking out. Civil society, opposition parties, and ordinary citizens are demanding transparency. They want to know who ordered the removal of the dockets, who benefited, and who is afraid of the truth. Reactions on social media show deep divisions. Some hail Mkhwanazi as a hero, a man standing against criminal syndicates with nothing but courage and persistence. Others see him as a target, set up to fail by those who fear what he might uncover. But one thing is clear: South Africans are watching more closely than ever before. The ghosts of the victims still linger. Names like Sindiso Magaka and Sibusiso Nsengwa are not just statistics. They are reminders that behind the politics are real human lives. Their families deserve closure. The answer depends not just on politicians or generals, but on the people. It depends on voices raised in protest, on journalists refusing to be silenced, and on communities demanding that the rule of law prevail. So, what do you believe? Has justice been served, or are we witnessing yet another cover-up? Share your thoughts below, because your voice matters in this fight for truth. If this story moved you, if you believe the truth deserves to be told, then like this video, subscribe for more powerful real-life investigations, and share it with others who need to know what is happening in South Africa right now. Because in the end, justice is not just about files in an office. It's about people, families, and a nation's future. And the truth cannot be hidden forever.